Hey, it's Henry from exceptionalmarketer.com. And if you've been looking for a way where you can get a quick return on money, make money really, really fast, and do it with a minimum of work, then I've got something really special for you today that you're going to be very interested in learning about. This is a method where you can actually take a high in demand service and you can promote that service and you could get paid extremely well for it. You can make anywhere from $100 to $1,000 a day. And the best part about it is it's a minimum amount of work. So let's get into this. Let's take a look at what this all involves. So what we're going to do here is we are going to be looking at debt relief. Debt relief is something which is really required now. People are coming out of the pandemic. People lost jobs. They couldn't really make enough money on unemployment. And people kept borrowing money in order to survive. And now they've got a lot of debt and they're looking for debt relief. Now, debt relief comes in a number of ways. There are companies that will actually go and negotiate with, for example, credit card holders or the IRS on your behalf and get your debt reduced. Actually, just forgive some of your debt. They also can go to credit card companies, and in addition to reducing your debt, they can also negotiate a lower interest payment for you. So even though you're going to have some debt left, your payments are going to be less based on the interest rate, which is going to be dropped for you. That's what these companies can do. Now, as you can see, this is over the past 12 months. You can see that this is really very, very stable. Debt relief is not something that's going away real soon. And now, over the past 5 years, let's take a look at that. Over the past 5 years, you can also see on this scale here, as soon as it loads up, it actually has gone up a little bit. But again, it's extremely stable, meaning that people are always looking for a way to reduce their debts. So what are we going to offer them as something to help them reduce their debts? Well, let's take a look at a site called OfferVault. Now, OfferVault is a site where you can go and you can find companies that have products, affiliate products for different niches. You can basically type your niche in and do a search. So that's what I've done in order to save a little bit of time. I just put debt relief in the search and I searched here to see what was coming up in debt relief. Now I want you to take a look at how many different types of programs you have here. You have IRS tax debt relief, which again, also by virtue of the pandemic, people couldn't pay their taxes so easily. This company, for a 90-second phone call, they have to make a phone call and only be on the phone for 90 seconds. You earn $85 for that. PPC is a pay per call debt relief. This is $45. I don't know how many, it'll tell you how long they have to be on the phone. Let's take a look at some of the others. IRS tax debt relief, 10K. They have to owe at least $10,000. $150 you get paid if you get a lead to them. That's a lead, okay? $135. Here's another IRS tax debt relief, $100. So let's take a look at one of these just to see what it's like. We'll take a look at this one that pays $85. Now, if you just click on it, it will take you to a detail about the program. Tax debt relief inbounds, 90-second duration. And it will tell you, here's what you get paid. It's a CPA network, cost per acquisition network. You can take a look at the landing page. I'll show you that in a minute. It is pay per call. The network is called Digital Calls Network, and it was last updated June 8th, which is about a week ago. So if you want to run the offer, basically you click here and you apply with this company, Digital Calls, and you can be qualified to run the offer. Now, in case you're wondering, here's all the similar offers. Look at this. This just goes on forever. So you can tell that this is something that there's a great need for. Now let's take a look at the landing page. This is a landing page that you're going to send people to, basically. And here's a phone number. You'll be given your own specific phone number for them to call. Once they call that phone number, then it's recorded to you, to your account. If you're on the phone for 90 seconds, you've earned $85. So that is the program. Now, how are you going to get traffic to come to your site? Well, I have a method. Now, this is a paid method. And the reason why I'm recommending a paid method is because this method will get you a very, very fast response. And at 85 bucks each time somebody calls and stays on for 90 seconds, you really have the potential to make a lot of money. You can do this organically. You can go into different Facebook groups and you can post, but that is going to be a very slow method. So let's take a look at the preferred. This is a preferred method, but it's a paid method. What I would recommend you do is you go to this site. This is called nextmark.com. Now, nextmark.com is a site that has all sorts of different mailing lists, for example. They have a lot of other stuff too, but they've got a mailing list finder. They are a compiler of mailing lists. So here's what you do. You put in your search term, we put in debt relief. It's a consumer, we're not dealing with businesses, and we're looking for email leads. We're looking for email lists that we can purchase. So let's take a look at what we get when we put in debt relief. Let's see what this comes up with. Take a minute for it to load. And here's what you got. These are debt relief email lists. These are email lists, and these lists are legitimate lists. These aren't the kind of lists where you can buy 100,000 names for $39, and it's totally untargeted, and it's a complete waste of money. These are people who are looking for debt relief. Here you go, debt relief seekers. You've got tax relief. You've got debt relief for debt relief. So let's take a look at one of these lists just to see what it looks like. So here's our debt relief list. This list has almost 1,700,000 names on it, and it'll cost you $115 for 1,000 names. So let's take a look at some detail about this list. So we'll click on the list. It tells you where the list came from. Here's the number. It's 1,000,000, almost 700,000, and it tells you where it came from. It came from the different sources. And here are details about the list. It's a compiled list, internet online. Now, this is really very important. It costs $115 for a list, for 1,000 names. Now, you can this by the way, will give you specifics about this particular list. But let's take a look at some of these filters. And I want you to look at one that's really, really important for us. This is, to me, probably the most important filter here. This is called credit card buyers. Now, what this means is you can filter your list by only people who have bought with a credit card online. They have exhibited the willingness to use their credit card to make a purchase. And that will cost you $10 per 1,000 names to get only credit card buyers. Now, you can also do it by a lot of these other things if you want to. You could do it by income. You could do it by gender, homeowner, marital status, any one of those that you think is going to fit your list. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, it'll tell you how to get that list. You have to order your list. You contact your list broker and ask Nextmark for the list ID, and they'll give you some specifics. Now, one of the things they say here is that this list has a minimum purchase of 5,000 names, which means at $115, you'd be paying a minimum of $575 for your 5,000 names. If you want to add 10 bucks a thousand for the credit card buyers, it would be $625 to get that list. You can mail that list one time. That is all you can do. It's one mailing. Now, you should probably send them to an opt-in page, because then you can get their email, which means you have the ability to contact them later on again and just remind them, because they may not be willing to do it right away. They're in credit card trouble. Chances are they're going to act quickly, but some people may put it aside, and you want to make sure that those people don't forget about you. Now, it's really a one-time mail, but you can take a look down here. It says reuse is available. You can reuse the list. If you get permission, you'll have to pay for it again to reuse it, but you can reuse the same list. Now, you're going to be spending, say, $625 for this list of 5,000 names. These are people who have sought debt relief and who have spent money with credit cards on the internet. So how many of those people at $85 a pop do you need to come out profitable? Well, if only 10 out of 5,000 make a phone call, you've made $850. So you've already made back your cost of the ad plus a little extra. But do you think people looking for help with debt, and you're here telling them, I can help you with your debts, do you think maybe more than 10 people can go ahead and make this phone call? What if 100 out of the 5,000 make the phone call, right? That's a tiny percent. That's what 2% make the phone call. That could potentially be $8,500. So you see the power of doing this. And again, the reason why I will recommend doing this with paid traffic is because once you mail, you can see results that very same day. As soon as they hit your mail, they get the mail. Now, you would use a mailing list server to do the mailing for you. And basically, you would get this list from Nextmark and you would just forward the list to them with your email content and they would mail it on your behalf. You don't mail it through your regular email service provider. So that would take care of that. The people would have it in hand. You can track it. I would use a landing page so that you can basically get them on a mailing list, and you can build a retargeting list just the same. So you may be able to do one mailing and you could potentially make thousands and thousands of dollars just from one mailing. Remember, it's 5,000 people who have a problem. And debt relief is a constant problem. It doesn't go away. It gnaws at people. So chances are that they're going to take some action on what you send them. And again, you don't need many to even make a tiny profit. But if you just get a small percentage, what if 5% of 5,000 people make a phone call? That's 250 people at $85 a pop, potentially. That's $2,000. So it's not that much. It's not that bad. So, and yes, I'm sorry, it's $25,000. So again, you can see the potential here. So if you have found this video to be informative and worthwhile, please click on the link below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the notification bell where you will be notified whenever I upload a new video, which I do on a regular basis. So in the meantime, best of luck to you. Get cracking on this. There's a lot of money to be made right here.